Hi, today's video is from my home music studio. You can see I have a string bass, over there I have a cello, piano, lots of instruments because that's what I like. We're going to look more into our bow position today. Whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced, we are going to review these things. What often happens for beginners is we just want to hear a sound, and so we don't always pay attention to the details of how we get those sounds. That was a little cry from my dog. Um, we don't always care how we get these sounds, but I will just say that if we really pay attention to our bow position, you're going to end up with a really beautiful sound. Intermediate and advanced, what often happens is you start out with this great bow position, you're doing really well, and over time it changes. So what started out as a really good bow position kind of melts or morphs, and you don't even know you're doing that. So what I want you to do is go over this bow position carefully, double check if this is what you're doing. And one trick is every time you stop, check your bow position. So if you play a song like Sideways Salamander or Sakura or one of those songs, when you're done, double check your bow position. And if you're checking, then you might catch some things that you're doing. So let's go over a violin and viola bow position, which is very similar to a cello bass position. We are going to add one element today. So please follow along with me. Oh, I'm going to be a mirror. I'm using my helper hand. The frog should be going this way. And it's bunny in the air, bunny on the bow, and a reminder that the thumb is next to the frog, not in the divot, next to the frog, and the fingers are over. Now, remember we talked about, do I have any markers here? We talked about how you touch on your pointer finger, and there we go. I just drew on my pointer finger. Violins and violas, you want to be on your pinky, right on the tip. And cello bass, your pinky just falls over however it can. So, helper hand, touching the stick, not the hair. Bunny in the air, bunny on the bow, with the thumb right here and bent. Can you see my bent thumb? Yeah. And then the pointer finger on that middle, middle pad. And violins and violas, the pinky is on the back side and curved. Those of you who are double jointed, I can't do it with that hand, but I can with this. If you're double jointed, that's all right, just leave it. And what we really want to make sure that we have is this bunny spyglass. Don't do that. You want it nice and open, and you can check it by looking through it. Now, today what we're going to do is add one more step, and that is pronate. And so you're going to lean towards the tip with your fingers. So notice that I'm leaning toward my tip with my fingers. Now, there are different schools of violin technique, viola technique, cello technique. Cello bass, you're going to be more straight up and down. Your pronation is just going to be slight, okay? Violins and violas, there are some teachers that teach like crazy pronation like this. There are other teachers who teach straight up and down like this. And I like a little bit of pronation that is leaning towards the tip, just like this. You're not going to just lean with your pointer finger, but you're also leaning with your bunny nose. Okay, so let's start from the beginning, everybody. Please get your bow with your helper hand. Bunny in the air, bunny on the bow. Check your thumb that it's bent. Pointer finger and pinky, bow position on the bow, and pronate. Straight up and down, and then you can let go. Make sure that you have a bunny spyglass. Now, intermediate and advanced students, one thing you can do at this point is see if you have a little bit of wiggle in your fingers. Because if you're holding it and you can't wiggle, that's not good. And if you pull the bow out of your hand, that means you're not holding it enough. You guys can hear the background noises of my dogs. Mikey and Clark. We'll introduce them later. I have a cello bow here. And you can see that instead of a Paris eye, it has a fleur-de-lis. And, sorry, Clark, I'm not even playing violin. He cries like this when I play violin. Maybe he knows I'm talking about violin. So this is a fleur-de-lis. Different bows have different things. Usually they just have that Paris eye right there. So cellos, backwards. I'm your mirror now. So remember we talked about, see I'm flipping it over, and we're going to put middle finger on the metal. Middle finger on the metal. Maybe I can stand up and show this better. Basses, it's the same thing. Middle finger on the metal. Thumb across from middle finger, and my thumb is bent. So then, notice how my pinky just goes down, and you can pronate a little bit. Not a lot, just a little. Notice my middle finger is still on the metal or the ferrule. Okay, so cellos, everybody do this with me. Bunny in the air, bunny on the bow position on the bow, and pronate. Straight up and down, check your bunny spyglass and your thumb. Good. Intermediate and advanced, you can pull on that and see if you have any flexibility in your fingers. Here's a bass bow, and this bass bow has a regular Paris eye, and you can see actually the cello bow also had black hair, and this has what's called salt and pepper hair, some white and some black hair. Many cello and bass players feel that the black hair has more strength, it catches the string better, and since I play violin and viola, I wouldn't know. So salt and pepper hair for bass, and black hair on this particular bow for cello. You can see where the rosin is, and the rosin isn't. I think that bow needs rosin. Basses. Let's do this. I'm going to be your mirror. So let's put our bow in our right hand and put our left hand out flat like this. We're going to put the middle finger on the metal, thumb across from the middle finger and bent. Okay, so this is another way for basses to do their bow position. Okay, do you see I have a bunny spyglass? Okay, so everybody, bunny in the air, bunny on the bow, cello bass, middle finger on the ferrule, middle finger on the metal, bow position on the bow, violins and violas up here, cello bass wherever you need it, cello and bass you can just tap your finger and it'll go where it naturally goes. Straight up and down, check for a bent thumb and a bunny spyglass. Intermediate and advanced students can check for some finger flexibility. Now only let go when it's straight up and down. All right, bow position is very important for producing a really great sound, for getting from one string to another, for playing fast, for playing slow, all of those reasons. So intermediate and advanced, let's work on those great bow positions. Beginners, let's keep working on that.